Hey guys, Pistol Pete here for Hucking Aces. As we get into the end of July, beginning of August, September, and as fall comes up, prime tournament season is right here for disc golf. Now, not only are there a lot of majors, there's a lot of other tournaments too, tournaments that you're probably competing in. So, with that said, here's the Hucking Aces guide to tournament success. Step 1. You want to know your course. A lot of times that's not going to be possible because you might be playing in a tournament that's 2-3 hours away, maybe further. And if you don't get a chance to play that course beforehand, there are a few things you can do. I like to show up a few hours before the players' meeting. That way I can try to play around, but at the very least I can go ahead and I can walk the course, and I'll start, once at the tee pad for hole number 1 and walk it all the way down, and then I start at the 18th basket and I walk it back. Why do I do that? A few reasons. One, it gives me a good idea of the layout of the course. By the time I get back to the tee pad, I've already seen everything on the course at least twice, and I've seen it from a few different angles. This allows me to kind of know some of the ins and outs of the course without having played it before. Additionally, when you're walking backwards and moving your way back that way, you can see a lot of different areas from the basket that, might look like they're approachable from the fairway but really aren't. Or, hopefully you find a few spots that, from the tee pad look like a terrible place to have a disc, but from the basket make it look like you've got a pretty nice upshot. So definitely familiarize yourself with the course. If you can't do that, try to find a map online, search YouTube for different playthroughs and reviews of the course. Hopefully they're there. DG Course Reviews, obviously a great place to go ahead and find the ins and outs of a course, but definitely try to familiarize yourself at least a little bit. If you've got a little bit of extra time afterwards and you don't want to play around to tire yourself out, practice putting for a little bit. If you're really good from 10 feet and closer, start at 12 or 15 feet and kind of work yourself into a bigger comfort zone so that when the time comes, you can make those putts that are really going to matter for you in the tournament. The next tip we've got is playing smart. You want to go into a tournament with a strategy. Now, a lot of people think that a tournament is going to be the time and place to take really big risks and to really try to carve a big lead. Unfortunately, that's really not the case for most players. You're probably going to do a lot better, I know I do, when you play smart. My goal when I play in a tournament is to try to get a par on every hole. I don't try to push for birdies that I can't get. I don't try to take unnecessary risks. I try to make sure that I'm playing smart, a lot of layups, a lot of things like that, so that I can guarantee myself a par. If you do that and you're careful, the birdies will present themselves, but they'll present themselves much more frequently than the bogeys that you might incur, or the double bogeys or the triple bogeys, if you're taking unnecessary risks. Play smart and you'll play to win. Now finally, there's two other topics that don't really get addressed too much, but they're definitely helpful. One, make sure that you're marking your discs. There are a few regulations about making sure that a disc is easily distinguishable, but you also want to make sure that you're preventing loss. Write your name and phone number in the disc. Obviously, that's something that should happen for the rest of the season as well. But sometimes there are tournaments. I've had a few TDs that check to make sure that your discs are easily identifiable. And that brings me to my last point. Know the rules of tournament play. That's a real big catch-all category, but there's a lot of things that fall into that and a lot of things that people don't think about. You want to make sure that you're paying attention to the rules in the PDGA guide, and you also want to make sure that you're familiar with all of the mandos and the out-of-bounds areas and the tournament-specific rules for the event you're playing in. Not knowing the rules is a really easy way to miss out on a lot of strokes or to have a lot of extra strokes added to your game at the end of the day. So make sure that you familiarize yourself with the rules, with the course, and with a good strategy so that you can set yourself up for success. Hope to see you out on the course. Good luck in your tournaments.